00015. She expected tears. She expected yelling, begging, maybe even the dramatic smashing of a plate or two. What she didn't expect was silence. A calm, soul-piercing silence that was louder than any argument they'd ever had. This is the story of how a man, faced with the ultimate betrayal, didn't break down. Instead, he gave his cheating wife the most peaceful and perhaps the most devastating goodbye she could have ever imagined. 015 One Sauderies. Let's call them Mark and Sarah. To everyone who knew them, they were the perfect couple. College sweethearts who had built a life together over 15 years. They had the beautiful house, the 2 kids, the golden retriever, the whole 9 yards. From the outside, their life was a postcard of happiness. Mark was a software engineer, steady and reliable. He wasn't the most flamboyant guy, but his love for Sarah was a quiet, constant flame. He remembered her favorite coffee order. He'd warm up her side of the bed on cold nights. And he always put her first. 1:45. Sarah, on the other hand, was the vibrant, outgoing one. She was a marketing executive, always networking, always the life of the party. In the beginning, their differences were what made them work. He was her anchor, and she was his sail. But over time, a subtle shift began. Sarah started craving more excitement, more validation. The comfortable rhythm of their life started to feel like a cage to her. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Work trips started popping up on the calendar. Mark, trusting his wife implicitly, never questioned it. He'd just hold down the fort, taking care of the kids and waiting for her to come home. 1:45-2:30. The discovery wasn't dramatic. There was no private investigator, no telltale lipstick on a collar. It was a simple, sickeningly modern cliché. A notification on a phone left on the kitchen counter. It was from a David, and the message wasn't about a marketing campaign. It spoke of their last weekend together, of secrets and stolen moments. For a few minutes, the world just stopped for Mark. The hum of the refrigerator, the sound of his kids playing in the other room, it all faded into a dull roar in his ears. 2:33:15. He didn't confront her right away. What would he even say? He spent the next 2 days in a fog, going through the motions. He made breakfast, drove the kids to school, went to work. But inside, a storm was raging. He replayed their entire life together, searching for cracks he'd missed, for signs he'd been blind to. He felt a tidal wave of emotions, anger, heartbreak, and a profound, bone-deep sadness. He cried in his car during his lunch break, the kind of silent, shoulder-shaking sobs that leave you completely empty. He imagined the confrontation 1,000 times. He'd scream. He'd demand answers. He'd throw her out. 3:15-4 But when Sarah came home that second night, looking tired but smiling, something in him shifted. He looked at the mother of his children, the woman he had loved more than himself for half his life, and the anger just evaporated. It was replaced by a strange, hollow clarity. He knew what he had to do. That night, he didn't sleep. He sat in the living room watching the moonlight filter through the blinds, and he planned his goodbye. Not an act of revenge, but an act of self-preservation, an act of peace. 4:45. The next morning was a Saturday. He woke up early and made Sarah her favorite breakfast. Pancakes with fresh blueberries and a perfectly brewed latte, just the way she liked it. He brought it to her in bed. She was surprised, a little guilty, but mostly pleased. "What's this for?" she asked, smiling. "I just wanted to do something nice for you," he said, his voice even. "After you eat, can we talk in the living room? I've sent the kids to my parents for the day." A flicker of panic crossed her face, but she nodded. 4:45-5:30. In the living room, he didn't raise his voice. He didn't accuse. He simply sat across from her and said, "Sarah, I know about David. The color drained from her face. She opened her mouth to deny it, to explain, but he held up a hand. "Please, just let me finish. I don't want to fight. I don't want to hear excuses or apologies right now. Honestly, I don't think I could handle it." 5:36:15. He continued, his voice calm and measured. "I've spent the last 2 days feeling every emotion a person can feel. I was angry. I was broken. I wanted to destroy things. But last night I realized something. I've spent 15 years trying to make you happy. Your happiness was my main goal in life. And somewhere along the way, I think I forgot to make myself happy. And it's clear now that I am no longer the source of your happiness. And that's okay." 6:15:7. Sarah started to cry, silent tears rolling down her cheeks. This was not the reaction she had rehearsed in her mind for this potential terrifying day. "Mark, I'm so sorry," she began. "I know," he said softly. "But sorry doesn't fix this. What's broken is our foundation, the trust. I can't live my life wondering if you're happy, wondering if I'm enough, wondering who you're with when you say you're working late. I deserve peace, Sarah, and our children deserve a father who isn't eaten alive by insecurity and resentment." 7:7:45. He took a deep breath. "So this is what's going to happen. I've already spoken to a lawyer to understand the process. I want this to be as peaceful as possible. For the kids. I will never speak ill of you to them. We will co-parent with respect. I have packed a bag for you. I think it would be best if you went and stayed somewhere else for a little while, so we can figure out the next steps without being in the same space." He had thought of everything. There was no room for argument, no opening for negotiation. 7:45:8:30. This was the devastating part. It wasn't the anger she feared, but the calm acceptance. It was the complete and total release. He wasn't fighting for her. He was letting her go as if she were a ship he'd been holding at the dock, and he was simply untying the rope and watching her drift away. His lack of anger told her that he had already processed the loss. He had already mourned their marriage while she was still living in it. The love wasn't there to be fought for anymore. It had been replaced by a quiet, dignified resolve. 8:39:15. Her breakdown came then. The very one she thought he would have. She sobbed, she apologized, she begged. She told him it was a mistake, that she loved him. But Mark just sat there, his expression one of deep, unshakable sadness, but not of doubt. "I believe that you think you love me, Sarah," he said, and the words were like ice. "But your actions have shown me what you truly value. I can't unknow what I know. I can't unsee it. I forgive you, not for you, but for me. I forgive you so I can move on. And I am moving on." 9:15:9:45. He stood up, walked to the hallway, and brought her the suitcase he had packed. He hadn't thrown her things in a trash bag. He had neatly folded her clothes. He had even packed her favorite skincare products. It was an act of kindness that was more painful than any insult. He was treating her like a guest whose stay was over. He handed her the bag, and for the last time looked her in the eyes. "I truly hope you find the happiness you're looking for, Sarah. Goodbye." 9:45:10. And with that, he walked out the front door, got in his car, and drove away, leaving her standing in the middle of the life they had built, completely and utterly alone. He didn't break. He didn't crumble. He chose peace over pain, and in doing so, he gave her the most powerful and the most peaceful goodbye ever. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think of Mark's reaction? Let us know in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. We'll see you in the next video.